Hi, I'm Christy Perkins. Thanks for watching my week 1 submission for the Real Women of Philadelphia contest. Today I'm going to be working on a side dish called Over the Top Spanish Rice. It's over the top in spice, and it's over the top with a cool cream sauce to finish. I want to get the rice boiling so that I can work on my vegetable prep. What I've done is put 1 cup of rice in my saucepan. I'm adding 1.5 cups of chicken broth. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and let this get started on boiling. While it's working, I'm going to get started with my vegetables. For our veggies, we have a jalapeno pepper, garlic, bell pepper. I usually use green because it's a nice color against the red tomatoes. We also have onion. And for our spices, we're going to be looking at a little tomato paste for a base. I usually choose the herbed tomato paste because I like that it already has some of those Italian herbs that we want in there. Additionally, we're going to have a little bit of oregano, some cumin to give it just a little bit of Spanish flair, and then also black pepper, chili powder, a pinch of crushed red pepper. Also, we're going to have a little bit of parsley to garnish. At the end of our dish, I've got my salt and pepper ready. Our cool cream sauce is actually a wonderful combination of Philadelphia cream cheese and sour cream. It really takes the bite out of that jalapeno without masking its flavor. I'm going to first prepare about 1/4 cup of onion. What I want to do is get my onion sliced very finely. I really don't want it in too large a chunks because I don't want it overwhelming the rice in size. Plus, I just want that little bit of onion flavor, not too much. Obviously, I chop like an amateur. That's the fun part of being a home cook. I finishing chopping about 1/4 cup of onion. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the bowl while I get ready to work on my next veggie. So I'm going to go ahead and get my bell pepper chopped. Plenty of time to do all this prep work while the rice is cooking. That's really nice. And you even have a couple extra minutes at the end if you need to finish your main dish. So I'm going to get my bell pepper ready to go. The bell pepper is a really nice addition to the Spanish rice. It has a lovely texture. I cook it only slightly so it still has a tiny bit of crunch. It really is adding a lot of color and texture to the dish. I'm finishing chopping my bell pepper. It's kind of in small diced cubes, and that's exactly what I want for the Spanish rice. I want it to be small, but I still want that beautiful color and that beautiful flavor. I'm moving on now to the tomato. I use Roma tomatoes. I like them better. I'm just finishing up my tomatoes. I'm actually going to place them in a separate dish. They're going to be going in last. They're not going to need any time in the cream sauce. I'm going to give my board a quick wash. Get back to work. The rice is coming along fine. I'm going to start working on the jalapeno. The jalapeno pepper is really what gives the Spanish rice its flair, its spice. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be avoiding the seeds so that I'm actually not getting as much heat as I would while still getting that jalapeno flavor that I want. Even if jalapeno tends to be hot for some people, the cool cream sauce that we're using today with the cream cheese and sour cream is going to make it a little more palatable for almost any guest. I'm going to be chopping my jalapeno now. And I'm just dicing it up finely as I had done with the other vegetables. And you can already smell that wonderful flavor. I'm going to be working on the garlic now. We've chopped most of the vegetables and we're almost ready to begin the cream sauce. The rice is finished cooking. I'm just setting it aside until I'm ready to blend it in with the sauce. We're going to have 3 cloves of garlic. I love garlic. The more the better. And it's wonderful in this dish as well. I'm going to go ahead and finely chop the garlic. It's almost like a mincing, but not quite. It's just going to be a fine dice. I'm not very good at mincing. I'm not very good with the knife salt tricks. So I just chop it up as finely as I can, and smashing it generally helps me a lot. Kind of already breaks it up for me. And again, you can really smell the aroma of the garlic. It's absolutely wonderful. I'm going to finish chopping this up and move on to my sauce. We're going to start lightly sauteing our vegetables. We really want those vegetables to release their aroma, get ready to make the cream sauce, and have the rice come in as well. My rice is finished. I'm getting over now to the stove to begin sauteing the vegetables and working on the cream sauce to finish up the rice. What I've done is used about 1 tablespoon of butter and some olive oil. I want to put all my vegetables in at once. They're not going to be sauteing very long, just enough to kind of get them releasing those flavors and aromas. And my bell pepper is still having that nice crunch. I'm going to be adding some salt and pepper to this. About a teaspoon of salt and about 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. Give that a little mix while this is finishing up. It smells so amazing. Everything is just coming together. The jalapeno, the onion, the garlic. You can smell everything together. I'm also going to go ahead and work with my other spices. It's going to be about 1 teaspoon of cumin. I just want about 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper. I don't want a lot of red pepper. I've already got heat going on. And I want about 1 teaspoon of the chili powder. My vegetables are done. I'm going to go ahead and add my tomato paste. What I'm doing is just kind of working the tomato paste around with the vegetables. I just want that paste to melt down. Once I get this mixed up and the paste melted down slightly, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat down a little bit while I add my super cool Philadelphia cream cheese and sour cream to finish this dish. And I hope it hurries because I'm starving. Tomato paste looks great. It's melting down really nicely. I'm going to hit it with the cool, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it down just slightly. What I'm going to hit it first with is the sour cream. And what I want is about 1/4 cup of sour cream. I usually do about 1.5 teaspoons. I'm going to mix that up just to start giving it that cream and cool texture. The cream cheese is going to come in and really knock it out of the park. That's what puts it over the top, that cream cheese. And it's a wonderful flavor. Also gives it a lot creamier texture than just with the sour cream. Right now I'm using an 8-ounce dish of cream cheese. I'm going to do 1 nice heaping teaspoon, and I always, for some reason, do a little bit more, or about 1/2. And that's what makes it happen. It looks a little thick sometimes, but it's wonderful when you get it mixed with that rice. I'm going to finish up with my tomatoes. I don't want them in very long. I don't want them too cooked. I like it when they're kind of fresh and have a little bit of texture as well. The rice is done cooking. The great thing is you can set it aside until you're ready for it. I put the rice right into the sauce and just let it go ahead and blend in and absorb that wonderful sauce. Mix it together. You want to make sure that your rice is getting coated well. And if you have 1 cup, this recipe makes a perfect amount. The rice dish is completed. I took it immediately off the heat and I've plated it. It's ready to go to the table. I want to garnish it before I do send it out. What I want to do is just put some mixed cheese. Here I have a mozzarella and a cheddar mix, and it just kind of gives it an appealing look. I also want to use some parsley. I prefer fresh parsley. I don't happen to have any, but I'm just going to throw some of that on top as a garnish. If you want to add an extra flair to this dish and you're serving individual sides, I like to put it in the ramekin, as I talked about before. What I do is just fill it with rice. I would normally do these before the garnish, but in order to show you, it already has a little garnish on it. Not going to hurt us a bit. We just won't need as much for the individual sides. And what we can do then is just pack it in fairly well. And then when you're ready, go ahead and dump it over. And you have to be careful. You may have a sensitive dish. I use a thick glass plate so that I can actually give it a little shake if it needs some help. You can then go ahead and add a little more garnish, or add your garnish for the first time. I'm adding more just to show you, but obviously we have plenty from the main dish. Thanks for watching my week 1 submission. I'm Christy Perkins. I hope you enjoy my over-the-top rice.